Welcome to Turmeric and Tequila with your host, Kristen Olson. Questioning a better way, one gracefully disruptive conversation at a time.
Welcome to Turmeric and Tequila. I'm so excited to be with you here today. This is a worlds merging cross connect from a retreat I just spoke at, and we figured that we had some people in comments, so I was like, we got to get on the mic and talk about it. But before we jump into this amazing conversation ahead of us, I want to give a warm thank you and shout out to our sponsors, Colorado Clownfish Swim School, swim lessons and water safety training for all ages. They believe in life skills through sports, so go waterproof your family today. You can check them out at coloradoclownfish.com. And our new favorites, Plantiva, products you can trust delivering results you can feel. They are my go-to, especially right now as I clear my throat towards as the seasons change, keeping me healthy and on point. So go check them out at plantiva.com. Without further ado, I want to welcome Lauren Rojas to the TNT mic. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here for this. Lauren was so gracious. I spoke recently at the Butterfly Effect Retreat in Orlando, Florida, and I spoke about all things fitness and movement and gold stars. If you know, you know. And Lauren so graciously came up to me afterwards, and we found out we had humans in common and while different journeys, I was so taken aback and felt so warm towards the entire community at the retreat. So I'm going to read her bio, and then we are going to jump right in as we do. Lauren Rojas is a wellness coach for women who have used the tool of weight loss surgery or a GLP-1 to lose the weight. But no, the real work is the emotional and mental. Having lived the cycle herself for over 30 years, she understands this struggle from the inside out. Through reconnecting mind, body, and spirit, Lauren helps women break free from emotional eating and find lasting peace with food and their body. So we're going to talk about her new business and her life shift into coaching. There's so many great things, but I do want to touch on, well, actually, let's start this. Let's first and foremost, tell me about you as a young person. And was all of this coaching journey and spiritual seeking and everything in the cards very early?
So yes, thank you. I am just so excited to be here, Kristen. Thank you so much. Yes, I was actually over 200 pounds at age 10 years old. So okay. I have had this struggle my entire life and started dieting at 10. My mom actually didn't know what to do. She struggled with weight, and she truly believed that happiness is in a thin body. And so she took me to Weight Watchers when I was 10 years old. And I still remember getting on that scale after, I think it was like a week or two after starting, and I had lost 10 pounds and everyone was so proud of me. And you go, those of you who have been in Weight Watchers, you know, you weigh yourself and then everyone goes into a meeting together and they talk and they say how much weight they've lost. And so when I told them I'd lost weight and everyone was so proud of me, that is the first time that I attached my worth to my weight and believed that if I could be in a thin body, I would be so worthy and happy. And I remember even as a little girl, when the clock would hit 11:11, did you ever make a wish at 11:11?
Oh, still do. Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
But my wish was always, I wish to be skinny. I wanted to be skinny more than anything. I would pray every night, please help me be skinny. Like I thought that would be, it was everything. And so my dieting career, as I call it, started at 10.
That's unbelievable. It's so weird because we're close in the same age, right? I'm 45.
I am, I think 43. I was born in 82. Maybe 44.
Oh my God.
I'm 44.
I love it. This is a whole other podcast. I was speaking, maybe it was you or someone the other day, and I'm like, I can't even remember what I said 38 on accident the other day, not trying to be young. I just literally couldn't think of it. And I don't know. I think past 21, it doesn't matter. But being as an athlete, we say our age and weight all the time. So I have no qualms about it. Anyways, whole other podcast. Maybe we'll have to do that another day. The point is, we grew up in our generation. It's so crazy to think, 10, 15, 20 years ago, how different diet culture is. And even the idea of going to Weight Watchers, getting weighed, and then having a conversation about that gives me anxiety. And I mean, I can't say I've had the exact experience, but I think every female at some point has struggled with their weight or body image or not being good enough, our fellas too, and to be in front of a community. And then, I mean, what if you gain weight and go into the meeting? Then is it like a huge guilty situation? Can I ask that
Yeah, it's
question?
just like, "Oh, try again." Like,
Yeah.
"Try next week."
God, and at 10 years old, I coach my young humans, and 10 is just so young, but it's crazy to see how much society has shifted. And like you, I grew up with a mom and a grandmother. I remember them getting my brothers, like we were at McDonald's, they would get them Happy Meals, and they'd give me a salad. So like very
Yes,
unintentional movements of
yes,
things. And it's like, God, we've shifted so much. Was at that point
totally.
in time, was there any sort of mental conversation at Weight Watchers or within your family around like the mental health aspect around our
Not
weight and weight management?
Not really, not around the mental health aspect. No, because I remember Easter baskets. Everyone had their candy, and mine was protein bars and celery. That was in my Easter basket. And yeah, I did Fen at age 12. Do you remember Fen? Now
I
there's like a
absolutely
huge
do. Yeah.
lawsuit against it.
Yep.
But
Yes.
yeah, so all of the dieting, HCG, where you give yourself a shot and eat 500 calories. Like I did every single diet out there, and I would lose weight and then I would gain it. Like even on Weight Watchers, I tried so many times to go back to Weight Watchers, but I had learned to cheat the system. Like, do you remember the Skinny Cow ice cream sandwiches? They were only
Absolutely.
2 points. And so I would just eat all the Skinny Cow ice cream sandwiches in points, or popcorn was free, I think. So like
Okay.
I did some crazy, crazy diets out there. There was one diet where we would binge for an hour. My mom, my sister, and we would binge for an hour. We wouldn't eat all day and then binge for an hour. And then we'd lose weight, but we could just eat whatever we wanted in that 1 hour.
Oh
And
my
we would lose weight
gosh.
until we learned that was not, well, we couldn't keep the hour. We'd end up binging the whole night. So
Okay.
it was kind of a crazy, and I had times in my life where I would go up and down, and I would lose the weight and gain it back. And it was just this cycle all the time.
Yes. It's so crazy that when I think back to these times, because it wasn't that long ago, no one was questioning anything. Like nobody thought any of this was like a bad idea. And we all subscribed. I'm so thankful I had athletics. So I had insecurities on my body and all the things, but I had this baseline of being strong and fit was what I needed to get to the next level. It wasn't about what I thought. And even when I was insecure, I knew I couldn't mess with things too bad. And I did diet pills in high school and some of the things. But I could see then I couldn't run and I couldn't perform. And if that was taken away, it was always this carrot, no pun intended, dangled in front of me that I had this baseline unintentionally that kept me accountable to fuel and take care of my body at least as best I could. And back then it was like taking cheese off your cheeseburger at McDonald's or so. We had no idea what was going on. But thinking back, it just is crazy to me that we had no idea and no one questioned it. What was like the light bulb moment within all this where you're like, I need to do this a different way?
So I finally found a program. It was actually a food addicts recovery program. It was a 12-step addiction program, just like AA, but for food. And I lost 100 pounds. And I thought I'd found the answer. I was so happy because I was finally free, right? I thought, until it was a very strict program. No flour, no sugar. You have 3 meals. You eat exactly what you tell your sponsor you're going to eat. If you don't, then you had a break. Well, for 18 months, I'd never had one break. And one day I was, I think, giving my kids some ants on a log, which peanut butter was always a trigger food for me. And I took one bite of that ants on a log. And that day started the most difficult time of my life, because I was trying every single day after that to get back to, it was called abstinence when you are on track. And I was trying to get abstinent again for 6 months. And I gained that 100 pounds plus back faster than I can even tell you. And I was trying every single day to start over. And I knew that this was not the answer. I was going to meetings still. I was telling, in those meetings, you tell yourself, you stand up and you say, I'm Lauren, I'm a food addict. And that was really hard for me, because I was like, I don't want to identify as a food addict. I want to identify as someone who loves herself and fuels her body with food that is good for her because she loves herself so much. And years prior, I had read the book Intuitive Eating, but I was like, my intuitions tell me to eat the whole effing box of Oreos. Like, I cannot be an intuitive eater, but I wanted it more than anything in the world. And so at this time, after having gained all this weight back and having this mental struggle every single day, I actually did go to a intuitive eating coach. And I wanted it so bad, but I was so uncomfortable in my body. I almost felt like I wasn't in my body. I don't know if you've ever felt that, but I'd look in the mirror and it just wasn't me. I didn't know that person. It was so weird. And I, at the same time, had met somebody who had had bariatric surgery. Now, both my mom and my sister had had surgery. and we had learned that it was the easier, softer way that they gained their weight back. It didn't work
Okay.
for them. And so I also believed that it didn't work for people. I believed everyone who had weight loss surgery gained their weight back. But I met this lady who had had it 20 years prior, and she hadn't gained her weight back. And I looked at her and I wanted at that moment so badly to be in a healthy body and to have a healthy relationship with food and my body. And I felt like in order to do that, I needed to have weight loss surgery and use it as a tool as I changed my mind and I changed my life completely. And that's exactly what I did. So I, a little over 5 years ago, had weight loss surgery and used it, like I said, as a tool. But I did so much mental and emotional work to change my relationship with food and my body and with myself. And now I get to help other women do the same. And I love it.
Ah, man, you glow when you say it. I can see you're totally in alignment. The good news, I always say, myself and anyone that's been through adversity, somehow how God, universe, Madonna, whatever you believe, aligns. It gives you the experience, even though it rips your heart out and tears you down and really tests the limits. But it gives you that experience inevitably to be where you need to be to coach and lead and help. And even if it's not as a coach or a leader or a podcaster or what have you, you have this experience and this authentic intel to share. And I think it's the hardest way to do, but it's the most real to really relate with the people that I think need the help the most. Would you have changed any part of your journey to be where you are right now?
Oh man, I don't think I would. There has been so many parts of my journey. There was one point that I'll bring up. First of all, I remember wanting so badly to have something wrong with my health. Like I wanted something to be wrong with my thyroid. I would go to the doctor and be like, what is wrong with me? Because I too was very active. I did CrossFit. I worked out all the time. And I wanted something like, I figured there had to be something wrong with me, but I would go to the doctor and I would be healthy every time. And it was so frustrating because I'm like, then why can't I lose weight? Even on paleo, the lowest weight I ever got was right before I got married. I was about 190 doing paleo, and is it Whole30 or paleo that like CrossFit was aligned with at that time?
Well, actually both, but paleo was kind of like the original and like eat animals, caveman, all the things.
I can't remember which one I was doing, but I've done both. I've done them all. But, and I was doing CrossFit and maybe got down to 190 pounds. And it was at that time, this is just something kind of funny also, because I remember wanting to be on The Biggest Loser so bad. Like I was going to be on it. And when they came to Utah to find people to be on the show, it was at that point that had just done paleo. So I was at my low point, 190, wow. So I wouldn't qualify. But my sister decided to do it. So my sister and my mom were both on The Biggest Loser in 2011. And unfortunately, it was like my low point. So I wasn't able to do that. But your question was if I would change anything. And I don't think that I would. I don't think that I would, because today I get to bless so many women's lives, helping them find peace with food and body. And that's a beautiful place to be.
Amen. And I want to specifically unpack the mental, but I do want to just linger in this point of like pop culture, societal impact, because then, we kind of got over some diet things, CrossFit, paleo, Whole30, these things are popping off. And then you get The Biggest Loser, one of the most successful, in air quotes, reality shows of our time. And you immediately saw over the years how unhealthy it was. I mean, these humans were beyond skinny, supposedly taking drugs. There's a whole documentary on Netflix, however you feel about that. But when Lauren and I were talking about the event, I actually knew someone that coached on the show and had some past. She's like, my mom and sister. I'm like, oh my God, so many things. Like the world's such a small place. Can you tell us a little bit more about their experience? Because I think that show was extraordinarily impactful for shaping diet culture from, like you said, like 2010s plus, of what we thought we needed to do. And then like the screaming trainers and like the harsh reality of it and the extreme dieting. It's almost like we took a step forward, but then took a massive step back. Can you talk, having a front row seat, about that experience being kind of within it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was actually just talking to my sister the other day about it, because she honestly believed if she could go on this show, lose the weight, it would be gone forever. Like she would have made it. She would be fine. And that's not what happened. She actually gained her weight back. And my mom as well. She was on the show. She won the at-home prize and that season, and truly believed like she had made it and she found her answer. And the truth is that is not the answer. Like it's not these coaches yelling at you, doing extreme dieting, extreme exercise. You have to make lifestyle changes that will last and that you can do your entire life. It's not extreme diet and extreme exercise that's going to work.
Right. Do you think, or do they think that the show and the experience actually made things worse overall when they look back, or do they think that made it better?
My sister would probably say she does have exercise anxiety because of it.
Yeah.
They didn't have horrible, awful experiences, to be honest. Some people
Good.
did. They had an experience. My mom actually had a pretty good experience because they talk about it in a different way. They didn't give them drugs. They fill the kitchen full of really healthy foods and let them make the choices as to what to eat. But granted, they were on a different team than Bob and Jillian. And so I think that is probably why they had a little better experience where they were able to make choices that they had some good experiences. And then they also had some heart, like I said, the exercise anxiety and things like that.
What about the reality part? And we'll move on from this. But I think just because reality TV is still such a situation, whether it's food or love or whatever, or you're selling something, how did they handle like the influencer part? Like now people know who you are and you're a household name. And I don't know if she did Instagram or anything back then, but how was that piece of it? Because that can, I think, trigger anxiety and perhaps emotional eating or whatever as well.
Yeah. I think my sister would probably share this part. She's an amazing influencer. Like she's awesome. She's Sarah Nita. Feel free to follow her. She's amazing. But she did come home and was asked to speak, and it did cause a lot of anxiety where she would drive home from a speaking event and stop by a drive-through because of that, like crazy, I don't know, just the anxiety and things like that. And so through that process, she did start gaining weight and not exercising as much and things like that. I don't know if that answers your question. But maybe what was the question?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just taking on the whole idea of going from not known to known very publicly, and having that, it's kind of like the Weight Watchers meeting where like our bodies ebb and flow, especially as females, but having that marker when you're measured and your weight at the peak of your height as your weight loss, like athletes, when you win the championship, but you're in the best shape of your life, years later, you're not maintaining that competition form or the ability, like, and it creates this like expectation that's unrealistic. So I think for all of our humans listening about weight and losing weight and body image, that's one thing, but also for all our humans stepping into the light, like you and I, as like quote unquote influencers or coaches, there's still that pressure from being in the light and having to handle that.
Of course. Yes. And feeling like you have to be somebody that sometimes you're not going to be. Sometimes I teach mental and emotional habits, and sometimes I don't do my habits and I have to remind myself, it's okay. I'm human. Like because I teach to not feel the guilt and shame and to get out of that shame cycle. And so I have to remind myself often, like, I am human. It is okay.
Amen. And that's really, I think that's such a big piece of it. And I think that was kind of the X factor with reality TV at the time, is that you are creating these crazy expectations, and then I think it's better now because I think our young people do understand filters and, you know, all the gray area that happens in Hollywood. But back then, like you see this and you think it's real. And like even some of these trainers, the way they look that did have disordered eating and whatnot, look like that's the bar. So it was all these like layered conversations. But I do think it's really beautiful that within your family, you had these very different experiences and could almost like collaborate. Tell us about, with your coaching, how you bring in that mental health and that mind, body, spirit component that is this whole human approach.
Yeah. Well, I love to start with awareness, because so often, especially when we've been dieting our whole lives, we've tuned out ourselves. Like we don't even know how to listen to ourselves. So I always start with awareness, being aware. Why am I going to get that food? I want this food. Why do I want it? And sometimes I'm like, yes, if you still want it after asking yourself that, eat the food, but get rid of the guilt and the shame around it. And then do the habits that I teach in my program, which like reading, journaling, meditation, affirmations, gratitude, all of those things will help you become a person who is just present and is connected with their mind, body, and spirit. And then you'll fuel your body with foods that it wants. And sometimes you'll eat the cookie and it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. God, that mental shift, it's so, because speaking at the event, the bariatric event, I had my own insecurities and concerns of like, I hadn't had the surgery. This isn't necessarily a reality. So I thought that I could relate to. And then I was out there, it was great. And the community was unbelievable. And I just felt so drawn, and to this day still do, of just supporting or continuing the conversation. I'm not sure how I show up in it, but this tangible feeling of resilience and wanting to fight, to live, and to feel better. And I think every human in many capacities can identify with that. This version just happens to be around diet and food. And when you spoke about earlier about like, it filming it or looking at it as like a disease and as an addict, it's so wild to me because you don't need heroin to survive. You don't need alcohol to survive. You need food.
Right.
And it's social. It's part of our culture. Talk to me a little bit about whether you frame it as an addict or not, but how you find that balance in approaching something you need to get by, but also not being obsessed and or in air quotes addicted to it.
Right. That is a really hard thing because I still do have family members who truly believe that they're food addicts and that they and still don't have any sugar or flour, no sugar to this day. And it has been a really hard thing for me because I am in a place where I don't want to consider any food bad, but deep down, I have this deep rooted belief that sugar is bad. And that is something, I'm not going to lie, I try to overcome that every day to this day because I want to believe that everything has its place. I mean, some people, if you're diabetic, sometimes you need sugar, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To feel better. And so, having said that, I think it's really important to recognize like everything has its place and we do need food to live and to survive. And like I said before, like I really believe that when we have a deep love for ourselves, we want to take care of our bodies. We really do. And I'm not saying that people who are overweight don't love themselves because that is not true either. But I do believe that there is an aspect to fueling our bodies with food that will make us feel good. And we want to feel good when we really, truly, deeply love ourselves. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. 100%. I think it's hard. I love that you start with the awareness because just that awakening of like, wait. Everyone's telling me how to feel, how to be, what to do. What do I care about? Like, do I actually care this much about this? Do I hate my body as much as I think I do? Do I want to change a certain way? I think that awareness piece in any space in your life or point in your journey is great to just check in and say like, wait a second, what do I actually want here? And like, what is the end game? Because time is ticking and it is hard to really get a grasp that like what we're doing right now will impact us down the road and future generations and all these things, particularly if you're on the mic or getting out there. And it's still about you. And like you said, it's not a one size fits all. So it's figuring out what works for you. I'm someone, that's why Turmeric and Tequila was really born. It's this balance, and we live like in that ampersand in between because it's of someone that's extremely trained and extreme, all the things. And then you get burnout and whatever, whether it's food or training or whatever, too much is too much. And finding that in between and letting go of that control is like the hard part, but also the key piece. So tell us, so you start with awareness, but tell me then now, as you get your clients in, you get them on board in awareness, tell us about some of your next steps and how you keep that mind, body, spirit within the mix, the entire coaching program.
Yeah. So I use an app, and in the app, they have daily lessons and they have daily habits that they check off. And there's some physical habits, mental habits, emotional habits. So all of the habits that they keep track of. And then we set habits and goals together as well that they want to work on specifically. And I meet with them every other week, one-on-one. We do one-on-one coaching, and I just get to support them on their journey. My company is called Uplift Journey. And then the program inside of it is called Love Yourself Now, because no matter where you are on your journey, you need to love yourself exactly where you are.
That's so amazing. And I think that you have so much opportunity and the community around it is extraordinary. And I'm sure as you build your own business, have you seen your own little community building?
Yes, it is such a beautiful place. In fact, one of the places on my app is called Community, and the way that they talk to each other and the support that they give each other is just, it's so beautiful. And they're coming away, something that you were talking about, like the extremes and like extreme dieting or extreme exercising. And one of my main focuses is to move past the all or nothing. And I think of it like a pendulum swing, because I was either dieting or I was either restricting or binging, or exercising really heavy or never exercising at all. Like it was either one or the other. And I think about that pendulum, and where I want to be is right in the middle, just where it's just barely moving. And even if you're like, the higher you are on that pendulum, the lower or the less you're moving, right? So I think of like living at a high vibration, and just up there on that pendulum is just the perfect place to be. And that's where I try to help all my clients get to.
But and that's literally, I'm like, we were talking at the event. I'm like, this is the perfect guest. I'm like, you get it. We're saying the same thing in different forms around different things, but it hits home, finding that in between and that balance that works for you. Since you brought it up, I want to dig into this because the intuition, the spirituality, I say God, universe, Madonna, whatever you believe, because I'm here for all the things. And I was even doing a deep thought last night, around some things of like, what's really like, what am I seeking? And then I'm thinking like, and I had this kind of aha moment literally last night. And I was like, I don't know that I'm seeking. I feel like something's seeking me. And I have to unpack that further. But tell me a little bit about your own intuition. You were called to intuitive eating early. It sounds like there was always some sort of spiritual energy or higher self or something within pulling you in a different direction. And I feel like you were almost probably, I don't know if I should say saved, but preserved from The Biggest Loser, kind of with that timing. That might have been serendipitous. Tell me your thoughts around that. Like any which way you want to go around the spirituality.
Oh man, I love everything like energy work, like the woo-woo.
Yes.
I call it the woo and the do. And it's, I also say like, I take it with a grain of salt, but I love it. And I like take it all in. And I really do feel like in fact, it's interesting because right as soon as I had surgery, I felt in my core that I was going to coach other women to use it as a tool, even though I'm like, but wait, I haven't even done it yet. But I felt so drawn to that. And I knew that it was my path. And that is when I started. And you're right. I have always felt something inside of me, like I need to listen to my intuitions. And I felt drawn to meditation and to energy work and to learning about like human design, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah. And what are you? Which one are you?
I am a generator.
Oh, same here. Of course.
113.
Okay. I don't remember my numbers. What was yours?
13.
13.
And
okay.
I'm sacral. So like when I hear something, I know right away if it's for me or not.
Yes. Oh, okay. There you go. Yes. I got to revisit. I'm definitely a generator. I can't remember the details, but I love all those things. Like I love, and if you're not new to it or haven't heard of it, check it out. Nothing needs to be like, you know, this is everything. It's just like another tool in the tool belt, another piece of perspective and intel. But I will say usually it lands, so be open to it.
Yes.
But that's amazing. When the more you started to learn, the deeper did you go?
Yeah, for sure. And I learned like, as you learn human design, you're like, oh my gosh, this is me. Yeah. Oh my gosh, these are my gifts. And you know what? Oh, I wish I do have my book. But anyway, there was something so interesting that one of my gifts is body love. And when you're in, what's the word? Like the opposite of like when you're not living in your gift. You're living
out of alignment?
When you're out of alignment with your gift, it's overeating, it's binging. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was living out of alignment with this gift that I've had my whole life. Yeah. But now I get to use this gift to help other people.
100%. And that was kind of the clarity as I started podcasting. And I'm like, oh, you know, all the adversity adds up to the tool that is the purpose. Like all of that leads you to make you the right person to do whatever the thing is. Do you feel like you're living on purpose now?
Totally. Yes. Yeah. 100%.
I love that. What do you have? What are you most excited for within like, then I don't love like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Cause I think that's insane. But what is like the next thing you're most excited about to build the business, build yourself?
I am so excited, like I've said before, to help people really and truly finally find lasting peace with food and body image, because I know the pain and the struggle that I've had, and now the freedom and the joy and the peace that I feel. And I can't wait to help hundreds of women feel the same.
Amen. When we were speaking, even hearing food as an addiction was newer to me. I don't know. I've had obviously a lot of conversations. I don't know that I had really unpacked it in that light, and not that I agree or disagree, but it was like, oh, that landed in a different kind of way. And I have addiction mostly around alcohol in my family. I think I told you, and some other things. So I'm very mindful when I get, I start to overtrain, even in fitness or things that appear healthy. Like when it gets too much, like I try and keep that awareness, like you coach, right? Because I do think genetics and lifestyle, nurture, and nature are all around us, are part of it. But putting that light was new to me. And then even thinking about, food, as something that controls you, which I don't know. Like, these are not new conversations, but it landed. Do you have any like major pro tips for any addict that's out there, or someone that's struggling to let go of something, on how you manage that on the daily, or how you keep your feet on the ground and moving in the right direction?
Definitely. I would say calm your nervous system. The things that I learned in the Food Addicts program, I still use today. Quiet time, 30 minutes of quiet time, read uplifting books. But calm your nervous system. I've been doing cold plunging lately, and I've realized that that is like so helpful for calming my nervous system. So when things come up, I handle them so calmly now.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say for any addiction, for anyone out there, is to work on calming your nervous system.
Well, it's so funny because that is energy. So energy sounds like woo and all the things, which I love. I'm here. I always call myself like a varsity witch, or trying to be. I'm not on the high level yet, but I'm open to it. But on the flip side, it's physics. Like, this is measurable, tangible things, and metaphysics. Like, the more we get into, there's actually like way more data than there was even 15, 20 years ago around how these things connect. And for my own situation, my nervous system around like dating and relationships, that was like what I had to unpack. But it's kind of the same thing when you get in that anxiety state. You are not yourself, and you're making decisions that aren't yours. What is, besides cold plunges, what else do you do? The quiet time, is there anything else you do that like immediately grounds you?
Yeah. So, well, gratitude is a huge one for me. Just every single morning I start my day and I write on pen and paper. That is so necessary. Write 3 things I'm grateful for. Also journaling. So many people, especially those of us who have issues with food, hate journaling, like passionately. But
Okay.
that is something, and I also tell them, get an ugly journal that you're going to throw away, because no one wants to like keep on a really nice journal when you're swearing and telling it all the things that you're frustrated with. But keep a journal. That is something we hate to do, but it is one of the most healing things.
Yeah, I believe it. And again, as time goes on, whether you're an athlete or you're looking to coach up, other parents or whatever it is, like, some of these life skills are applicable to everything.
Everything.
And any which way you want to level up, these are like really great skills just to like level up as a human being, and
Right.
continue to give yourself grace. At this point in the game, I feel like you're kind of like me, like, we're at whatever age we're at, if we can remember, but we're kind of like just getting started and like just getting on the right page. Does that resonate with you at all?
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, so I was a high school teacher, have my master's degree. I like did all of the things, but then I'm like, wait a second, total pivoting,
Yeah.
and going a different direction now. I stopped teaching. We also have an electrical business. I kind of gave that all to my husband, and I'm like, I am going to go and I'm going to help people. So I do feel like I'm just getting started on a new journey, and like leaving my old one behind.
And I want people to hear that in, like, late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s and beyond. Sometimes you need all that. Like you, I wouldn't be able to change anything to get where I'm at right here. And I feel more equipped and secure to lead. And I feel like you are still a teacher in very many ways, but like just in a different way. But now we've got just such a different skill set. So I always want people to know, like, wherever you're at age wise, like, the journey can start right now.
Totally. I agree 100%. It can start no matter where you are, what age you are. 70. Like,
Yeah.
I love when these 70-year-old women, you show up at the gym for the first time and you're like, yes, you do that. I'm so proud of them.
Yes. Well, and on that note, I have to ask, are you still CrossFitting at all as a diehard CrossFitter?
So I do Lifetime. I do some lots of different classes at Lifetime, GTX and Alpha, but not CrossFit.
I'm here for it. I know people, I think, always, and I tease about CrossFit. I've been in the game a long time, so there's many things I can make fun of, the cult and all the things. Like, I'm laughing with you. But I think when people, they know I CrossFit, so when I ask, they're like, I tell her I don't do it anymore. I'm like, yes, there's no judgment. Like, I do much less than I once did, and I actually started incorporating like the bro gym and Pilates and that kind of stuff just to stretch out all like the meatheadness. But it's okay, and the evolving journey is a good one.
Yes.
At this point in the game, what is success to you?
Oh man, that's a really loaded question, I feel like. But I would say success to me is being able to, support other people the way that I wish I would have had support on my journey, and be present and feel fulfilled. Those are my words. Fulfilled and present are, and if I can feel those, then that is success to me.
Oh, I'm right there with you. Just to put it into universe, and since we're on the mic, do you have any goals as far as like clientele or what might be a mile marker for your business in general?
Yeah. So I want to help from starting right now and on 100 more women on their journey.
Okay, like within this year?
This year.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Okay.
This year. That's a lot.
Let's go. Yes. Yes. Do you feel like you have to fuel more when you're coaching? Because I have trackers and whatnot. When I'm on the mic or when I'm, speaking at events, my blood pressure, my cortisol, like I'm like training like an athlete. Do you feel like this is almost like an athletic performance for you when you're coaching? Because I feel like you're like me where you get like involved and you just
so
care
excited
so much.
And so totally. I feel that for sure. And I'm drinking my water over here. I need more. Almost 40 ounces during this call.
Yes. I love it. Cause it really is. I mean, again, I think when you're in alignment and you're like heart's in it, it is almost like a workout. Cause you're just like, your adrenaline's there, you're focused, and it's all the things. So I'm super excited that people get to know you, get to see you, and get to share in your energy and intel, and see how it grows from there. I do also have to ask, at any point, do you see yourself starting your own podcast?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's kind of crossed my mind a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows? Universe is wild, as we know. Let us know, where do we find you? Websites, handles.
Yeah. So you can go to, on Instagram, it's lauren.uplift.journey, or you can go to www.uplift-journey.com. I am also on Instagram, Lauren's Uplift Journey. Facebook. I'm also on Facebook, Lauren's Uplift Journey.
I love when people don't know it too easy, because then I know they're not saying it all the time. Like, you're not so engulfed in the social media world, probably quite yet, but there's still some rawness there. Well, I sure appreciate it. I want to give some love to our sponsors, Colorado Clownfish Swim School. They are swim lessons and water safety training for all ages. They believe in life skills through sports. So go waterproof your family today. And our very favorites, Plantiva, products you can trust, delivering results you can feel. Go check them out at plantiva.com. Lauren, you're amazing. I think we crossed paths for a reason. I'm excited to see the journey grow, and hopefully, let's keep in touch, but I'll be rooting for you, and definitely keep doing the podcasting. I think this is also a big piece of the journey, so I appreciate your time and energy.
Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining Turmeric and Tequila with your host, Kristen Olson. Tune in next time, and don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.